Yeah, says here.
What?
From Earth rotation.
What rotation?
The Earth is rotating around itself and determining the 24 model.
There's no evidence for that. That's just rhetoric, like T-Dub said. So the Earth isn't rotating unless you can provide evidence that it is.
If the Earth is not rotating, do you believe that the Earth is rotating in flat Earth?
Of course not. Of course not.
Then how does time pass?
Are you serious right now? That's non sequitur. I'm asking you 180 degrees what, and can you show me the Earth rotating and the measurement of that rotation?
The measurement of that rotation is 360 over 24. Okay.
That's not a measurement. That's a claim. I need the measurement of the rotation, please.
Okay. Let me just add some real quick, gents.
It's easier to measure the Earth.
There's a twister outside. There's a dang on tornado. So, just want to let everybody know that. It's very important. I can already tell it's affecting me.
Bro, shut up.
I think it's affecting him more.
Shut your LARPy mouth.
Hello?
So anyways, can I get a measurement of the Earth?
You're roboting a bit, says who?
So we have a globe Earth model. Okay? The globe Earth model that we believe in. It is easy to determine by bringing a similar shape from inside the Earth. For example, if
can you show me that globe Earth model, please?
I'm telling you.
Can you show me the globe Earth model? Can you put it in the side chat? No, I don't need you to tell me. I want you to show me the globe Earth model.
That means you refuse to listen.
No, it just means I want you to show me the thing that you're about so we can further discuss it.
Okay, 1 second. It's like kids.
Yeah, his request of a demonstration of what you're talking about is clear indication that he is listening to you.
One second.
Yeah, says Hugh is a very good listener.
Well, thanks, Mary Mom.
You're welcome.
I don't think he's a good listener. Let's go with the image.
Well, I'm here to objectively tell you that you're wrong, and I have the credentials to prove it.
It's subjective. That's your opinion. Let's continue. I'll bring the image. We have the image.
That's the model that you want to... Okay, so can you tell me what this model can do? How is it going to help us decide what the Earth is, since it's just a cartoon?
They told me that you're a good listener, so let me continue. So if you're going to bring a board...
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's talk about the model that you just posted. Let's talk about this model. Does it have any predictive capabilities?
I'm currently talking about it, sir. If you bring
so does it have any predictive abilities?
Let me continue. So if you bring a board...
Why are you avoiding my question? Why are you avoiding my question?
I didn't even complete my sentence to know if I avoid your question.
Yeah, I asked you to present the globe Earth model, and now I'm asking a follow-up question. Does that particular model, which is not a model, does it have any predictive capabilities?
That is a model. There is a picture of the Earth, sir.
No, that's a picture. It's not a model, right?
Model is a created picture.
Oh, it is. So what will this picture help us determine as far as time zones are concerned on a globe?
Because you don't know how to listen, it will help you to listen.
Because you don't know how to listen. Listen, friend, if that doesn't have any predictive capabilities, and it doesn't necessarily or at all come from actually any kind of experimentation, then it's not a scientific model. At best, it's just a painting or a cartoon. What will this cartoon help us with?
This helps you. The model is actually a cartoon. In every scientific thing that you're going to explain is a cartoon or picture that helps you explain and understand what is it.
Wow. Yeah. Right. So we just look at cartoons and that helps us understand our reality. Is that how you live your life?
Looney Tunes, here I come.
When you open, for example, physics books, you're going to find a lot of pictures, but I don't think that you open a physics book in your life. That's why.
Well, let's talk about physics. Physically, how much is the Earth rotating that you could measure?
We could measure the edge rotation by 360 over 24 hours, and that means for every hour.
That's just the claim. You understand?
15
the claim is not the measurement, my friend. The claim is not the measurement. What I need is the measurement.
The measurement is an equation, and the equation is 360 over.
An equation? No, measurements aren't equations unless you can give me a citation for that.
No, measurements are equations. For example, when you have the mass.
Okay, give me the citation, please. Citation, please.
Listen, you're cutting me out. Listen, and I will bring you. Okay?
Friend, I need the citation. You just saying it is not for the audience, especially. So what you would be best to do is show me a citation from a source that, calculations or even equations are measurements. That would be great.
Okay, don't use it. Like, the problem with you is that you read but you don't understand. For example, measurement.
I didn't
decided to
read anything.
Let me continue. You're cutting me out. So, for example, when you have a mass.
Why are you being rude?
You have a mass. Mass is a measurement. Do you disagree?
Of what?
But if you disagree,
yes, I disagree.
Okay, so if you disagree,
I disagree.
That's logical.
What is it?
Well, what logical would be is yeah.
If the mass is not a measurement, we have a number for the mass.
Mass. Did you say mass? MASS.
Yes.
Okay, what is it? What's mass?
He's saying it's not a measurement, and he's saying that he knows.
I'm asking you to tell me what mass is before you tell me that you can measure it.
It's the measurement.
Of what? What is mass?
Mass is measurement. It's a number that defines the mass of certain objects.
Oh, dear.
I don't know if there's a language barrier here. Usually a measurement, a measurement is going to involve an action performed in order to obtain a value using an agreed upon unit of measure. So what was done in order to...
You are a bit perfect.
Sorry, am I?
You're not. No, you're not. He's talking smack. You're fine. We hear you.
You're gonna need to tell us what was actually performed in order to obtain the value, the number which you are referring to.
We have brought an equation, and this equation we use numbers to plug it in it, and we check whether the numbers are correct or not, and we know that this measurement is the mass. This measurement is the, for example, the volume, and so on. That's how we know it.
Holy cow.
But you don't use it. You don't use it in your life because you believe that they are...
I think what I...
Excuse me. How'd you get the number for volume?
By plugging any...
No, how'd you get the number? Not, I'm going to plug this number in. I'm asking you how you get the number. How'd you get the number volume?
By solving an equation of the volume, for example, of the square. The cubic.
Okay, so, for example, if you want to figure out the cubic meter of an area, what do you need to do first?
Do you know what is the equation of the volume of the cubic or not?
What do you need to do? If I've got a certain size of cubic area, what do I need to do first to figure out the cubic area?
We are not talking about areas here. We're talking about volume. Do you know what is?
We're talking about equations. We're talking about the numbers that you plug into the equations. We're asking you for the measurement of the number before you plug them into the equation. Very simple. Maybe it is a language barrier.
No, it's not a language barrier. You're a native English speaker. But
okay, so why for the 10th time have you failed to give us the measurement when we've taken our time?
You're cutting me out
to explain that that's what we want.
You can't get volume from area.
Because you're not listening.
I listen to you all the time. You cut me out. It doesn't help your point. The measurement of the measurement here in this equation, where do you get the numbers, is from what you want to measure. Like, for example, the cubic of my toy box. You bring them.
The radius of the Earth.
Let me continue. So you bring the meter. For example, you bring the meter and you bring the toy box, and then after that you measure the length from upside to downside, and the length from left side to right side.
Thank you.
Numbers.
There
and
we
those-
go. There we
You
go.
measure. Good. So you measure. That's what we're asking for. Not the equation. Not the equations prove anything.
no,
Just the
wait.
measurement to put into the
Wait.
equation.
This measurement is a number, sir. I told you it's a number, but you refuse to listen. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you have to measure the number first. So we're asking you. Why are you talking for me? We're asking you for the measurement of the radius of the Earth.
So is it a number? It's a number. Thank you.
Yes, it's a number. Can you provide us with the measurement, please?
You can apply that for the Earth, and we have a number for the Earth. It's normal.
Okay. So that known number, how did we measure it?
We measure it by using the same equation that we used for this cubic.
My God.
But the shape of the Earth in our case.
Hey, bro. Remember with your toy box. Remember how you needed your meter stick, and you had to actually physically align it with the sides, the length and the width and the height, right? So how did they do that to obtain the radius of the Earth? What did they do?
It is very simple. You can do that by many ways.
Okay, let's start off. Number one is.
Before I tell you what are the ways, you have to understand, because you're telling me, because you might think that what we think that the Earth is a cubic. No, we think that the Earth is a globe, and therefore we bring a global shape thing like football, and then after that we plug, for example, the equation of the volume.
Oh, you beg the question.
No. Please let me continue. From the volume of
But you're
that.
begging the question. I'm just pointing out you're begging the question. I will let you continue. I'm just pointing out for everybody you're begging the question.
Okay, just whatever. After I bring the volume equation, I can get for example, the radius of the Earth from that equation.
When you beg the question, it's a sphere. Yeah.
I didn't make the question. You asked me about the radius of the Earth. I told you about the radius of the Earth. It's very direct.
Yeah, you begged the question that it was a sphere.
Okay. So after we bring the
You
radius,
begged the question it was a sphere. You said we think it's a sphere, so we've got a sphere. I'm going to beg the question that the Earth is a sphere.
Okay, man. After we bring the radius of the Earth, if we have a radius, that means by
Where did you get that from?
By definition, the shape of the Earth
Sorry,
is.
excuse me. Where did you get that radius from?
From the equation of the volume.
Oh, when you begged the question that the Earth was a sphere. Gotcha.
Why do you attack me, Zed? Attack my
It's
phone.
not attacking you. Sorry, excuse me. I'm not ad hominem you. I'm not attacking you personally. I'm attacking what you said. I'm pointing out that you're begging the question. It's a fallacy. It's illogical reasoning. We're asking you to prove the thing that you're begging into existence and says, well, I think it's a sphere. No, we're asking you to prove it's a sphere.
I am proving to you. I'm telling you the equations. I've been with you throughout.
No. Okay, I'm going to ask you again. It's like you're not following.
Measurements.
How did you measure the Earth to be a sphere in the first instance?
And once I begin to talk, you're telling me I'm begging. Okay, let me repeat it for you again. We have talked about the equation of the volume of the globe, and we believe that the Earth is a globe.
There you go.
Okay.
No. We've spoken about the Earth being a globe. We believe.
But you don't
cool.
understand.
So that's you begging the question and asserting your mathematics with 360 degrees in it.
You are telling me that I'm begging the question while I am explaining to you.
You are.
I am literally talking about a spherical.
No, you're not. You're not explaining what was done in order to achieve the values which you are then going to use in your equations.
Yeah,
what was done?
Okay, but I'm trying. That's why I've been throughout the equation of a normal toy box, because
Sorry, friend. We're going to have to end the conversation with you at this point. Yeah, we're going to have to end the conversation with you at this point, because I asked you for the measurement of Earth rotation, and you said it was an equation. Now you're begging the question once again, but the radius, the Earth, you're begging the question of that. There's no measurement of it. So we're not going to follow you down your fairy tale, your religious system. You understand?
If you're going to bring a neutral person in this discussion, He's going to
No,
tell you.
it's not about neutral. So everyone here is neutral. You have yet to provide where the values for any of the things that you're claiming came from. Rotation and radius. You don't have those. You're already begging the question. We can't continue.
Everybody agrees with you, so you're gonna go all the claim in this channel that I am begging the question.
No, it's not that. It's not that. We're asking for the measurement and equation, and that is not correct.
That is actually correct, but you stopped me because you don't want to continue. You felt that you're getting
What?
No, we've been asking for at least 10 minutes for the value, the measurement for the value that you're using, and you haven't answered.
Of course I have an answer. I've been telling you about the measurement for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, how is the measurement taken?
Okay, but you have to let me for 5 minutes. Please bring a timer, okay?
No, not for 5 minutes. I will ask you one more time for the measurement, how it was taken, and then if you go back to equations or formulas, we're going to end there.
Okay, but don't cut me out so you can understand. Because if you're going to bring a shape that is a globe, okay, then we have an equation. Okay.
Oh my God, he's doing it again.
Nope, that's it.
Yeah,
That's the
you
end.
just assume the consequence once again. You said if we have a shape that's a globe, you assume the conclusion in your premise. Do you get that?
It's not a conclusion. It's not a conclusion. You agree with
you assumed it's a globe. That's what you said. You said if we have a shape that's a globe, there's your assumption. Then we do this. That's what you're assuming the consequence in your premise. It's illogical. Do you know what logical fallacies are?
No, I'm actually making a claim and supporting it by an
You're making a claim of a globe Earth. Yeah, we know. You're assuming it in your first part of your sentence. We know. We've heard it.
Yes, but I am proving it by mathematically, by equations.
Yeah, with your equations, how do you get the numbers?
Nobody here asked you for mathematics. We asked for measurement. Apparently, you don't know the difference between a measurement and an equation.
You just agreed with me that measurement is a number, and the number will get it.
Yes, but to get your numbers for your equation, you have to physically measure
Equations already
something.
have numbers in them. That's the point of equations.
That's how you get your equation with physical numbers.
But at the same time, the equation can determine.
No, not at the
have
same time.
physical
There's no
numbers in
equation.
them. That's the point of equations.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna end this with our friend. I'm just gonna end this with our friend because he's gonna have us doing this for hours, maybe, where we're asking for something that's not hard to figure out, and he's gonna avoid it like the plague. So, in the side chat, if you want to give us the evidence for measurement, the measurement, not the equation, not the formula, then we can continue. Otherwise, you're just wasting everybody's time. Who's the new white knight? Who's swallowing his microphone? You think you could back off that thing a little bit, maybe?
Torture.
It's torture to listen to you on the mic that you're using.
No, I'm not the white knight you're talking about.
I am.
Torture,
You're exactly who I'm talking about.
I thought Torture knows
No,
the
because
Earth
I'm
is
not a
flat.
white
Yeah.
knight. I'm
Are
just
you?
stating the obvious.
Are you a globe? Oh, you're a globe promoter?
No,
Torture?
no, I'm not.
What's the obvious thing that you're stating?
That equations have numbers in them.
Right. And what would that have to do with the conversation?
The point is, you cannot have an equation without measurements.
What?
Sure you can.
No equation was ever created without measurements first.
That's not true. You can.
That
you
is
can create
true.
an
Show me
equation
one
for a
equation was
Superman.
created.
I can create an
after no
equation for a
measurement
not
time.
every
Show me
equation.
one.
Try it. I can
show you plenty
I
of
can
thousands
create
that were.
an equation.
It wasn't.
I can create an equation of a unicorn. Does that make
No, you
unicorns
can't.
real?
Okay, do that for me. Do it right now.
Did I say that? So if I make an equation for a unicorn, does that mean I made a measurement?
No, because you can't make a formula. You can't make an equation for a thing.
You said equations have to have measurements.
You don't make an equation for a thing. So no. Good luck doing impossible.
So you either lied or you contradicted yourself and you don't know the difference.
No, I never contradict myself. It's an obvious statement. The equations are equations.
Your initial claim was a contradiction.
You can't have an equation that says, look, here's light. No, you can have a property of light in an equation, but not light. Light is composed of many, many formulas and equations.
That
You
wasn't what
claimed
was
to
in
know all
contention.
equations and speak to all equations already.
I know that all equations
You know
are
about
made
every
with
equation.
numbers.
It's the
That's
Vulcan
what I'm telling
pass.
you. I know. Don't tell me. Don't put words in my mouth that I said I know something I don't, or that I didn't say. I know what I know, and I can tell you what I know, but don't say
spoke
I
to
said
every
something else.
single equation. You said all equations, so you spoke to
All
all
equations start
equations
with
possible.
constants. Yes.
You said,
Otherwise, we
they
would not
start
have
with
a major.
you said they have measurements.
Okay, if you let me
Correct,
post
which is
this
a
and you
constant,
look
my
at
friend.
it really quick without talking through me. In chat, I posted an equation for a unicorn, and there it is.
That's not an equation. I don't see any math in that. I see some dollar signs and random text.
You can do
That's
it.
the equation.
You like the pretty version
Actually,
of it?
I see a few equations amidst a bunch of random text, like somebody smashed their keyboard with
Shows you where
a couple of
it was.
equations thrown in there.
Give it to you the right way so you can see it.
U of X and T is the unicorn presence.
Here you go.
So you're being
I could not listen to his mic.
He's being equation prejudice. He's prejudiced against some equations.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, says who he is like a bit hard to listen to. It is pretty obnoxious, yeah. He could kind of back off a tiny bit. Mic, pretty cool. The mic is really bad.
The mic is torture.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, I went ahead and posted it so he can understand it, since he doesn't know how to read.
I also posted one that wasn't nearly as sophisticated, but we've got H plus H, which is horn plus horse, equals U, which is unicorn. There you go.
I used the Globe Debunker AI, so it really, I can tell it to get in detail. I can tell it to be sarcastic at Globers, and it'll tell you this unicorn is what creates rainbows only if you live on a globe and all that shit. It'll get nasty with people.
We're at the stage where people don't know. Yeah, they don't know what equations are. They don't know what formulas are. They don't know what values are. They don't know what measurements are. And they also don't know how to, tune their mics. So it's an uphill battle.
What was dude's argument on time zones? I missed that.
It led to.
Yeah, his argument was time zones, therefore globe.
Time zones. Therefore, China has one time zone. Now Earth is flat.
I mean, the dude literally gave us a practical example of how you obtain a measurement in order to apply an equation to calculate some other quality of the object, such as its volume, right? By physically measuring the length and the width and the depth, or the height, right, of the box, of his toy box, you can then use an equation to calculate the volume, right? But then when he was asked to apply that to the Earth, right, he just wanted to skip straight past the measurement part, like what he practically did with his toy box, and go straight to the equation, which is begging the question, and he could not comprehend that. I mean, how can you not comprehend it when you've just literally given us the example of how you would do that?
Biggest belief.
Oh, I caught that part. That part was very obvious. I don't understand how he didn't grasp that he was begging the question either. You have to presuppose the globe in order to find it out, to figure it out. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I just think when they've got it so ingrained in their mind, they just can't even imagine a world without it. I mean, it was the same thing, the last two guys, Santo and Dr. Whatever. They just can't imagine anything else except the globe. Real lack of imagination there.
I love how when the time zones failed, he went
Welcome, Bold Unit. Do you have any questions about the flat Earth? Bold Unit or anybody else? Oh, Bold Unit is gone. No questions, I guess. Solaris, Skybourne. Do you have any questions about the flat Earth? Solaris.
Oh no, I know all I need to know. I don't have any questions.
Oh, what do you know then? If you know all you need to know, then I need to know what you know.
I've been in the conversation for like 7-8 years now. So
nice.
Yeah.
And what is your conclusion?
Oh, it's totally a globe.
Okay, tell us how you know that.
Well, I mean, you all know it too.
No, I don't, because I've been in the conversation for at least that long, maybe longer, and I haven't seen any evidence of curvature, no measurements of curvature, no evidence of rotation.
You sure?
No drop over distance.
You sure about that, or are you
I'm
just,
totally sure. Yep, totally
you're
sure.
just drawing your own conclusions and forcing the evidence to it?
Well, why can't you show us the evidence so then we can evaluate it?
I mean, I can use your own.
I don't have any evidence. I just told you I have no evidence of a globe. Where's your measured drop over distance? Show me.
Well, that's not needed to prove the globe, but it is there. It's just not needed.
The empirical standard of measure is not needed. Shape. Okay, what else is it then?
The globe.
What is it? What empirical standard that we can verify have instantly got?
Okay, I can present evidence in the chat for you. All right, hold on.
No, maybe listen. What empirical, verifiable evidence have you got? Just to be clear.
She asked for it in the chat. I'm going to post it for you.
Cool, awesome. As long as it fulfills that standard.
Yeah, I did tag him in the chat and ask him for some evidence, so we'll let you put that up there for us. Thank you, Solaris.
I'm going to guess space pictures.
Oh, no, I know better than to give you space pictures. I learned that lesson years ago.
I wonder if he knows what empirical means.
Jesse, Path of Lies, that's already debunked. You can't shoot the Odolites that far, so that's out.
I was actually holding my breath then.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Jedi. It's not worth it.
No.
Yeah, Jedi's about to turn blue down here. I guess Solaris thinks he's going to be unique.
He is the one.
Oh, no, I'm not going to be unique in the slightest. I'm usually, when I get in here, muted pretty quickly. I've got a few haters in here.
Never seen you before.
I usually try not to come when too many of my haters are here.
Well, I guess this is your lucky day then. You can present your evidence for the curvature like we've been looking for.
I do the same thing for them, and they hate it, and then shut me down.
I'm going to start winding up cables to my computer system. Getting ready to shut my end down.
Do you hate us because it takes so long to... Sorry.
Jedi, you think you can actually just went out to try to measure? Because it shouldn't take this long to copy and paste something.
Oh, no.
No, I'm giving you an amalgamation, because I know one thing is just going to lead to another, so I'm giving you an amalgamation.
Oh, really, Solaris? It'd be way easier if you just did one thing at a time, because we'd have to look at each thing one thing at a time anyway. Can't you just give us...
I would watch you deny it, and then we'd move on to the next one and watch you deny it, and then move on to the next one and watch you deny it. So
if it's not empirical,
yeah. When you get a brand new book, just published, you just like skip right to the last page, like you don't even read it?
No, of course not. I read the whole thing. That's why I'm going to deny it, will we?
Shall we reliably deny it?
I'm just going to hand wave dismiss it out of hand.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just you could just DM us our scripts, Solaris, and then we wouldn't even have to think about what to say since you already know.
Yeah, right.
That would depend on which one of the people that we talk about, right? As far as the flat Earth influencers that are out there.
Can you just post the shit, man?
Are we going to go with Nick Note's way of doing it, or
are we going to give? Can you tell me this? Are we going to give reason why we will dismiss it?
That's actually a pretty decent question. Some do, some don't. That's actually a pretty decent question.
We'll base it on its empirical value.
I prefer if you answered that question. Why are we going to dismiss it before you even post it? That way, we can see if you know what you're talking about. Dear AI, please give me some globe proof for flat earthers.
Yo, what's up, village idiots? Is the Earth still flat like a pancake?
No.
No? Okay, I'm glad you had your mind solved from all the issues you had going on.
Nice straw man.
Why would you think that we live on a pancake? That blows.
There's no village idiots here.
Sometimes they last a while, sometimes they last a few seconds.
Yeah, the only ones that are village idiots are the ones with the red mics next to their name. Oh.
Haha, Timbo.
I got to say real quick, you guys got some pretty low level globe defenders in here. Just saying.
It's okay, Solaris is getting us all the evidence that we deny, apparently.
I warn Indio to delete this server. I'm kicking back in my chair. I'm just going, what? What's that supposed to be? How far away is it? What was the temperature of the air? What was the temperature of the water that day?
Yeah, where's the rest of the data, Solaris?
Oh, here we go.
He did say he's been in there for 7 or 8 years, so I guess he hasn't updated since then.
I'm kicking back in my chair. I'm just going, what? What's that supposed to be? How far away is it? What was the temperature of the air? What was the temperature of the water that day?
Yeah, where's the rest of the data, Solaris?
Oh, here we go.
Punch train? Is it punch train?
He did say he's been in there for 7 or 8 years, so I guess he hasn't updated since then.
He's using WS website too.
Final experiment, that's new.
What was the experiment on the final experiment?
24 hours sun.
See whether people believe this shit or not.
Experiment. What was the experiment?
It was the observation of a 24-hour sun,
That's not
which is impossible on a flat Earth. It's either yes or no.
Prove it.
So you don't know what science is?
I don't know what science is.
Yeah, you called an experiment an observation. So
That's just its name. I didn't come up with the name for the final experiment, but the entire goal was an observation of
not an experiment.
24 hours. Okay, again, I didn't come up with the name. They did. Okay, so it was all an observation of a 24-hour sun.
It's impossible to flat Earth. How?
Because you can't have sunlight on the entirety of the ring of a flat Earth. 24 hours.
So, sorry to inform you, my friend, but you are building a straw man. No person in this room thinks the Earth is a disc with Antarctica, the ring of ice around the outside. So you can put your straw man away. Nobody thinks that. Keep talking forever, like you, Jedi.
I know,
it's a dickhead.
It's absolutely not a straw man.
Sorry, has anybody claimed that the Earth is a disc in here?
The giant ice wall that thing in? Yeah, no. Oh, there's not it's possibly land past it, right? Yeah. So yes, the military doesn't allow anybody to get there. People did get there.
I guess this is his spiral. I guess.
I mean, what do y'all say to the flat earthers that went on that trip?
We're trying to talk to you.
He's going to keep talking. He's going to ask a question and then talk over you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I heard that. He just doesn't. He question and talks through you.
What do y'all say to Jeranism? And
we don't. We're trying to talk to you. Person who doesn't have to have a conversation.
We're talking about the flat Earth experiment, the final experiment. So
we're interested in the people. We're interested in what was observed. Don't care about the people.
What was observed by flat earthers, claimed flat earthers.
No. Observed by everybody who has the ability to go to these locations.
I wasn't there, so I didn't get to witness it. So I have to use what they claim.
No, we measure it, dude. You can measure the motion of the stars across the sky. We measure it. We don't have to be in the South Pole. Why are you talking? Don't. When I'm talking, shush. We don't have to be in the South Pole, directly underneath the South Pole. We can measure it from distances away. Funny that. Now, please inform us how this is impossible on a flat Earth without invoking that we say the Earth is a disc.
Okay. If you want to play that game, then I will have to understand your particular version of flat Earth over the many, especially the most popularized version, which has been widely claimed that it is a disc.
Standalone. No, your explanation stands alone, all by itself, all by its little lonesome. Right.
If I'm going to go for his particular argument, I need to know what it is. If it's not making a claim, it isn't the most popular
dimensions. Not making a claim to the dimensions of the Earth.
Okay, so
you're telling me that this is impossible on flat Earth. Excuse me. You're telling me that this is impossible on flat Earth, but apparently it's just a circular model. I'm not claiming the circular model. I need you to have to tell me it's impossible on flat Earth now.
You're also not claiming flat Earth if you don't claim that model. You're also not claiming.
No, what are you talking about?
And that's why I said, give me your.
Excuse me, young man. Why would I reify an obvious global projection into reality?
But no, that's not a global projection into reality.
AE as a multiple equidistant map is a north-centric global projection.
Yes, no kidding. But yes,
why? Excuse me.
No, you want to know. This is a popularized version.
Do you agree? No, it's a globe model. It's a flat globe model.
Presented by who?
The globe.
But presented by who as the shape of the world? As
not me. It was here when we got here. It's called a psychological operation.
UN, United Nations, they're the ones who did it.
Who made it the popularized version?
Not me. Okay, not me. Not anybody in here. I keep trying to tell you, but you keep talking through the answer.
But no, I hear not you. Now we're going to circle back around to, okay, what's your specific
hello, dumb fuck, not even Witsit or Jeranism. None of those people. Yes, not Eric DeBay.
Jeranism did. Eric DeBay did. Yes.
They didn't make that model.
This kid isn't listening. He isn't listening.
They didn't make the model. They subscribed to it.
Did they? Well, more fool them for reifying an obvious global projection. That's what we say to them to answer your earlier question.
Nathan Oakley subscribes to it. He's wrong.
What are you talking about now? Bringing more other people that aren't here into the conversation. Why don't you talk to the people that are in the conversation here, right now?
I'm trying. That's why I asked you. What is your preferred model then?
I don't reify models.
Then what shape is the world to you?
Don't make a claim to the shape. Is this getting through?
Okay, so therefore
times you said it while he was talking through. Didn't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't know how to have a conversation, this man.
No, I know how to have a conversation.
Then why are you not understanding information that's been told to you 3 or 4 times?
Yes, you've repeatedly said the same thing.
Onto you. He wants you to pick it up.
You repeatedly said the same thing. When I ask a question, if I ask a question and you just say, I don't agree to answer the question, then therefore we can't have a conversation. So it moves on.
What, when you try to build a straw man that nobody in the room has mentioned, telling us that it doesn't work on this obvious Strawman, because if you understood what it was, it's a global projection.
I love how
seeing as we don't claim that, you need to answer this question, chatty man. Excuse me, chatty man. You need to answer this question. How is it impossible to have a 24-hour sun on a flat Earth? How's that impossible?
Because the sun cannot go all the way around a flat Earth and still be visible from the same location without also being visible to everyone else on the planet.
That's not true. That's not true.
You want to call it a planet or a plane?
It's not even true, your statement. Have you ever heard of the land of perpetual night and day?
Perpetual night and day.
Yeah, when it's summer in the north, it's like I'm going to have to educate you. When it's summer in the north, they get to observe a 24 in the Arctic Circle for up to 3 months of the year. In this time period, when it's winter in the south, they don't get to see the sun in the Antarctic Circle. Transversely, 6 months later, when it's summer in the south and you get to see the 24-hour sun for up to 3 months of the year, it's nighttime for 3 months of the year inside the Arctic Circle. It's darkness in Svalbard, for example, for 3 months. So no, they can't see it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they can't see it for 3 months.
Because it's not there.
In those other 3 months, when the north is in darkness, they see the sun for 24 hours a day.
I know, it's across the sky, across the Earth.
Okay, that doesn't explain how everybody gets.
I need to explain it. We observe it.
You observe this. Okay, great.
Yes, we observe the sun move throughout the year.
You're now saying no mechanism of it.
Solaris, Jedi, he's trying to claim Jaren's map of a squashed globe that we're supposed to agree with him on, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, trying to. This is what I love after the final experiment came out. Is that pretty much all flat earthers now want to completely deny the most popularized version of what flat Earth is.
Never accepted it in the first place, man.
Sure, whatever.
Been around the conversation for 8 years. Why, again, would anybody reify an obvious global projection?
I mean, we say these guys are famous shills. No one here subscribes to it. He doesn't hear that for some reason.
We were shutting it down long before the final experiments. Long before. People come in and try and assert that there's an ice wall around us, and we'd say, "How do you know that?"
I didn't see the flat Earth.
Well, because we use this map,
Eric Dubay,
and we say that's not a map; it's a globe projection.
Why is it that I never saw Eric Dubay getting smashed by flat Earthers?
I don't give a shit.
Why is it that all of these?
I'm not Eric Dubay.
That sit here and push this. That are usually personalities.
Eric Dubay doesn't even debate people.
Exactly. He won't even go on a debate with anybody. He just proclaims this.
So why are you accusing us? He just wants to talk about the people that he didn't hear us the first 20 times. He's still talking. He still wants to talk about the people, I guess, just the people.
Yeah, just people.
Yeah, the people that perpetuate the BS.
Yeah, the people we label that no one here subscribes to. You didn't hear that the first 20 times we said it?
Oh, no, there's people here that...
What's it coming in here, do you? Yes, in here, do you? In here, do you?
I know there's people here that subscribe to it. They're just not saying anything. Because where do you think I know?
Why does your belief require a comparison to something else? Why can't it just stand out alone and under its own merit and be correct?
It's wishful thinking.
I don't need wishful thinking to understand.
Okay, then show us how it's correct without comparison. Show us how it's correct without comparison.
Well, somebody's breaking.
Show us how your explanation of a 24-hour sun in Antarctica is correct without comparison.
Without comparison?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, a 24-hour sun would be expected in Antarctica due to the fact.
So you expect that? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Now show how it's true.
It would be expected, given that the surface of the Earth is curved into an oblique spheroid shape, and it tilted on its axis, where we have our seasons. And therefore, it would sit there and go 24 hours in the north for 3 months and 24 hours in the south for 3 months.
Have you got any measurements of this?
Total observations.
Have you got any measurements?
All that's needed is total observations. That's
it's not all that's needed. Have you got any measurements?
Oh, yeah, no, that is literally all that's needed.
No, we need measurements, my friend. You're going to need a size, for example.
The only measurement you need is Earth curvature, and you obviously know it already.
Jedi, they did take measurements down there. They used the angle to the sun, so they used flat Earth measurements when they were down there. McToon did. He measured from a flat baseline, so they used flat Earth measurements.
Okay, well, we measured a flat Earth.
If you look at the sky and see something in the sky, it makes the ground curved, huh? Even though it measures flat.
Yeah,
that's some great.
He measured ear flat while he was down there. He just didn't tell you guys.
Let me get this straight. So you're saying I have this idea of what the Earth is. I expect, based on this idea, that when I go to Antarctica, I will witness a 24-hour sun. I go to Antarctica and I witness a 24-hour sun. Therefore, the Earth is what my idea is. Is that the summary of it? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's affirming the consequent, you idiot.
No, it's having an experiment actually prove your hypothesis.
It's not an experiment. It's affirming the consequent. He literally laid out the logical, because it's a form of logical fallacy. If P, my idea, then Q, I will make the observation. Q, I make the observation. Therefore, P, my idea is true. It's classic affirming the consequent. T-dub trapped you. You're really not good at this, are you?
Observation is a
It's not an
valid
experiment.
form. It is a valid form of empirical evidence.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Don't believe me? Look it up for yourself.
What's the size of the Earth based on your observation of the 24 hours?
That has nothing to do with...
Oh, he failed.
I don't have to know the size of the Earth to know that it's a sphere.
No, all you have to do is beg the question and affirm the consequent that was pointed out to you.
Moving the goalpost. I don't have to know.
No, it was pointed out to you earlier. The form that you had.
I don't know. I don't have to know.
Did that not get through to you?
In order,
that didn't get through to you. Should we go through it again for you?
I can go over it with you again because apparently it didn't get through to you.
Really? So we'll affirm the consequent together.
I'm not affirming the consequence if an observation is an empirical evidence.
Oh my god.
You don't
You
even
can look it up for yourself.
It could be recreated on a different model.
Go on the internet for yourself and ask if an observation is empirical evidence.
Excuse me. What did you empirically observe?
Again, an observation is empirical evidence. I observed.
Of what? What did you observe?
I didn't. Like I said, I've never been to Antarctica.
What was observed?
A 24-hour sun above the horizon.
Awesome. We can stop there.
Evidence of a 24-hour sun. That's evidence of a 24-hour sun. Full stop. End of conversation.
That's your empirical observation.
Well, it's empirical evidence.
You saw the sun, or the sun was observed above the horizon for 24 hours. It was seen. There it was.
I'm going to make a claim now. If I see the sun, the Earth is flat. So tomorrow, when I see the sun, then the Earth is flat.
What a great experiment. What a great experiment. That's awesome.
Yep, that's an awesome one.
It's just like that. I see the sun, therefore Earth is a ball.
Yeah, you should write a book on
the
that.
sun, therefore it's flat. Who wins? You know who wins? Measurement. We measured it to be flat. We win.
Sounds like he lost.
And he doesn't know what to do with the measurement part. Well, that
again, I already said the measurement's not. The measurement's not needed.
Orbital mechanics out the window.
I kept saying to you the measurement's not needed. I don't know why you keep bringing it up.
Sorry, we're making observations. We're going to need to know how high the sun is in the sky. We're going to need to make some measurements. But at the moment, we've just had the empirical observation of the sun above the horizon. Yay! And?
Well, I'm pretty sure they did take measurements of what degree above the horizon the sun was.
Welcome to Flat Earth. Awesome.
That doesn't mean Flat Earth.
So you said degree. That's an angle measurement. Angle is in section of two straight sides. This was a solar elevation angle. What are you talking? This was, excuse me. This was a solar elevation.
You keep skipping over it. I just want to make sure you get that correct.
It's a solar elevation angle.
Okay, yeah, you're going to skip right over it.
Two straight lines meeting at you, the observer. One from the one line across the plane of the Earth to the horizon.
Okay, nice to know that you were going to skip right over it.
Dude, to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't. Fucking masterful piece of wonderfulness you had to say. Maybe repeat it if it was so good.
90 degrees from a tangent line, right?
From a tangent? No, you've measured no tangent here. Huh.
So 90 degrees down, right?
90 degrees, yeah, that would be an angle. Good.
Yeah, that's 90 degrees, right?
Yeah, that's you. Yeah.
And then we can look out at the sun and measure up from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tangent.
What tangent? Where? Where's the tangent?
Because that line isn't going. That line.
Sorry. Where's the tangent?
That 90-degree angle that you start with before you look out at the sun isn't going to just go on infinitely right above the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, I'm asking you where the tangent is.
Because then you have to add in the fact that the Earth is curving.
Hello. Where's the tangent?
You're not. What the fuck are you talking about? Where's the tangent? I gave it to you.
Where's the tangent?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm asking you where's the tangent.
He invoked a tangent. You asked where it is. He's talking about lines going off for forever. I think he's confused.
What tangent? Where?
It's the point you start at.
Oh, so we're standing on a tangent.
Where we're standing.
So
you're standing on a tangent. You go straight down. You go 90 degrees. Yes. What the fuck, dude? How much can I say this?
Cool.
This is basic.
Awesome.
I didn't know I was going to have to get basic physics here. Come on.
This isn't physics, you prick. This is geometry.
Okay, yeah, let's play that game.
Stop being a fucking dickhead.
He's just a dumbass.
So, when did you measure the sphere to put the tangent?
before we ever did the observation. It was.
Oh, when did we do that then?
Well, I mean, how far back in history do you want to go?
I don't care as long as you give me
now you're moving it around to, oh, well, when did we do the experiments?
At the moment, you invoked a tangent. You said, well, we have a tangent for some fucking reason because what? You're going to beg the question that the Earth is ball. No, we don't do that here. I'm not going to let. Why are you talking, dumb fuck?
Begging the question, dumb fuck.
It is. Apparently, there's a tangent. You said, well, we have a tangent for some fucking reason because what? You're going to beg the question that the Earth is ball. No, we don't do that here. I'm not going to let. Why are you talking, dumb fuck?
Begging the question, dumb fuck.
It is. Apparently, there's a tangent.
It's not begging the question.
Apparently, there's a tangent. What's a tangent?
I could have sworn, right, that this thing in Antarctica that you're doing, measuring the sun above the horizon, I thought this was the thing you were supposed to be using to prove that you're on a ball. But yet now you're just invoking a tangent as if you have a measured ball already. That's begging the question.
It was measured a ball beforehand.
Right, so you don't need to worry about going to Antarctica to see a 24 hours.
Y'all ask how. Y'all ask how has it been measured, and that's why I asked. The next very question I asked, but y'all wasn't listening, was how far back in history do you want to go?
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Well, you choose.
As long as it's an empirical standard or measure that can be verified by anybody. Please don't beg the Earth to exist.
Well, we do have a glober in chat who thinks the moon is 70 miles wide.
Yeah, like
solar eclipse, and you get a 70-mile wide shadow. That means the moon's 70 miles wide because it's parallel sun rays. He fucked up. They always fuck up. They never think about what they're saying or typing or anything.
I got a question for people saying the Earth's flat.
Did you find those 7,000 islands?
Me?
Yeah, you talking about islands in Japan.
So you want a drum roll or
something? Said the whole world's been mapped, and I said except they found 7,000 islands.
Back in
except those. That's the only thing that hasn't been mapped yet.
Back in 2015.
Whenever.
Due to mistakes in mapping, so satellites captured 7,000 islands that were.
Are you telling me maps aren't accurate now?
80%.
How come Google Earth never showed those 7,000 islands?
What?
What?
You're telling me you looked for all 7,000 islands and none of them appeared on Google Earth?
Well, they might not have back then, did they?
Well, okay, so you can't.
Appeared back then because if they're taking a picture from space, wouldn't they show up if it's a picture from space?
Okay.
Right,
anyways, my question is, where's the edge?
Are you stupid, Japan? Here's the pictures we showed you years ago. They were there.
My question is, where is the edge of Earth if it's flat?
Where's the edge? Point in the horizontal direction.
You keep claiming an edge, and I asked you to describe it, and you won't do it.
No, because the Earth is flat, there should be an edge. So where is it?
Okay, so that's a positive claim. Go ahead and prove it.
Where's your edge? Hey Koji. Where's the edge of your globe?
Well, something spherical doesn't really
What a stupid question.
Doesn't really have an edge. Something flat should have an edge. So I'm asking, where is the edge of flat Earth?
Nope, you should have a geometric edge where you should have obstruction in your vision due to the curvature, and we haven't been able to find it. Have you been able to find it?
Am I asking about flat Earth or a globe?
Well, I'm asking you. Why you're so obsessed with? If you're so in, yeah. If you're so into,
Earth was a globe first.
Oh, okay. So you're a flat
Where's
earther?
the edge of this flat Earth?
Are you a flat earther, Koji?
Well, I could be if there's valid proof.
We don't claim an edge. It's pointless to talk about that. The more interesting thing is that the drop over distance predicted by the geometric globe model doesn't exist. So you should get off of that model, and try to get your head back into reality.
Valid proof for the globe.
So wait, what? The Earth is flat, but there's no edge.
How do you know there's not an edge? How do you know that?
No, that's not what
I think if there is.
But that's not what I said. You misunderstood. I said we don't. Yeah, I said we don't claim an edge. Those were my exact words. You changed my words.
So how do you not? But
yeah, so you said if there's not an edge, then it's not a flat surface. We agree with that. We just haven't found the edge yet.
No one asked you, Carter.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So you guys don't know if there's an edge.
Oh my god! Well done. Finally.
What do you envision as an edge? Like a ledge, like something
Just
that
like,
you could walk
I don't
off on.
know, like an edge. Like, you know how in a triangle there's
You want to
edges? There's three.
speculate, I guess. You want to speculate?
So the limitations of our ability to traverse the plane horizontally are yet unknown. How's that? Besides being prevented politically and environmentally.
If you catch someone being dishonest, are you going to go to them for truth? Are you going to go to them and ask them what the facts are? If you catch them being dishonest, is that something that you're going to do? If you catch NASA lying, are you going to go to NASA for facts and have good faith in what they are telling you is factual?
Did you have any other questions, Koji?
Well, can you like explain a little bit more? My head is not wrapping around this.
We have not explored the outer reaches of this realm, so we make no claims as to what's there. If you find out, let us know.
So, what you're saying is the whole world hasn't like been discovered or like mapped.
Totally, that's totally what I'm saying. Nice.
I'm asking if that's what you're saying. I don't know.
Actually, here's the claim. Here's the claim. If the Earth is flat, then there's an edge. The Earth is flat, therefore there's an edge. Modus ponens. We haven't found the edge to describe it yet. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Okay, but what's
It doesn't need to be an edge. It really doesn't need to be an edge. You're presupposing something that's not technically factual. You're saying there has to be an edge. Where is that rule set in
One of
stone?
you, stop. Can one of you edge claimers please describe to the rest of the room what this edge looks like?
The edge of the map. That's an edge.
That's just a map.
What's there? A dotted line or something? I don't get it.
We don't know.
You can't describe it. You're telling me it looks like a piece of paper?
I never seen you can describe it.
It looks like a map? Then why are you claiming it?
Well, I'm asking about it because it shouldn't. If Earth is flat, should it not have an edge?
You just found 7,000 islands.
A limit to the environment. Every time you say edge, I keep thinking like that we to it and fall off into space or like the edge of a cliff. I don't think people think that that's what happens at the edge of reality. I mean, it might do. I don't know. I haven't been there, so I don't know. But every time you say edge, limit to reality, maybe the container for the gas pressure. I don't know.
So this edge, you drop off like it's a cliff, or you climb up it. Describe
it's a force field.
I don't know. I'm asking about it.
Wait, there's a container though. There has to be an edge.
Yeah, there has to be an edge if there's a
force field.
It's a force field keeping the air in. It's like Halo.
The air in from what?
From the vacuum. No, that's the edge. That's the edge.
You claim space, so you require.
There's nothing past it. There's nothing past it.
You require a glass ball dome around your glass ball. You are the one who claims space. We say space is fake. You don't need a container. There. Now you don't have to ask those questions anymore.
Oh, so you don't need to contain the pressurized air? That makes sense.
Not if the sky's a vacuum, you're not listening.
Okay.
My goodness.
Okay, buddy.
We understand that your fantasy globe model is very limited and that it is defined in this very definite way as being a sphere, even though we've demonstrated to you many times that that's not what we observe in reality. So you don't need to project that onto our actual reality, where none of us have explored the outer regions or found any kind of edge. It's possible just to accept reality the way it is without having to think that everything has to be defined and limited like it is in your fantasy globe brainwash religion.
Then what are your thoughts on like maps? Like they show all land basically.
Okay.
Not like small islands, but they'll show
Maps
like
are cool. They're flat. Maps are flat. Yep, got it.
No, I know, but since there's no since we've mapped a lot of Earth and none of them found an edge, I'm asked
what?
That doesn't really hit.
Does us not finding an edge invalidate the measurement of the water being horizontal because we haven't found the edge of the horizontal?
Well, if everything's been basically like explored on surface, then
You're assuming that.
That's a
Did you know that
problem
over
here.
80% of the surface of the 80% of the oceans of the world, nobody has ever really seen because we don't traverse them by boat or airplane. There's loads of places that people have never been, dude. Just because you say, what, we can have a thing in the sky that can go over it and we can map all of the world, that's everything that we know. No, that's not true, dude.
He's already assuming a ton of things. It's just most of your.
How are you going to put a percentage on the ocean's exploration if it could be more vast than 80%? Maybe it's 2% we've explored.
Whatever the number, dude. We haven't been in for it.
But I mean, even if there is an edge, it could just be like at the end of the map, and no one's been there. So what?
But how are you going to claim that no one's been there if everything's been on land mapped?
Wait, how do you know that?
On land.
Like, it's
on land.
Pretty obvious that almost
the definition of a map
has been explored or at least mapped.
Dude, that's the point of a map, is that you map out what you've actually explored.
Yeah.
You can't make definitive claims about what is actually there. That's what's on the map.
Yeah.
So anything past the map would be the edge.
But what if the people mapping end up
where everyone's been has been reported to everyone?
I hear edge one more time.
Edge. Where is this thing, bro?
So I'm asking you, everywhere everyone has been reported to everyone?
No, it hasn't been reported to everyone. Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah, stop acting like.
But like you've been to school and they've showed you a map of the world.
Just weird.
Okay, so school showed us a map, so that's reality.
Well, I mean, it showed us of places where people explored, so that is reality. Yes.
Okay. What about older maps? Did they show all the places that were explored, or was there new worlds that are discovered at that time?
Well, older maps, they didn't have the means to travel and explore. That's why there's newer maps.
Okay. So maybe this is just a known world at this particular time.
So based on assumptions, you don't know what people knew back then.
Sorry, it seems to me that you've got this entitled opinion where these things will be told to you straight away on the 6 o'clock news, for example. Somebody would have told you, right?
Say again, my bad. My mic's not good.
It's okay. You seem to have this entitled opinion. You should. When the world is run by governments and militaries, for example, and it's mainly the militaries of the world, especially in the last 150 years, that have done the major part of their exploration. They've shut down areas like Antarctica. They've shut down areas like a certain ceiling above the sky, which is declared as military-only airspace. So they've shut down places all of the time. You can only go where you've got permission to go in the first instance. Just because you haven't been told that the Earth is actually flat and they've reached the edge on 6 o'clock news, then it's a weird argument, dude. Is what I'm trying to point out.
Okay, so that is true that they don't allow exploration in Antarctica, or so, I think it's Antarctica or the top one. I don't know what the top one is. I forgot.
What are you expecting? Like a briefing every morning of the peak of human understanding?
Yeah.
But what about like west
Sounds
or
like a
east?
magic newspaper.
They don't limit exploration for west or east.
East and west are circles around the poles, though. If you just carried on going east, you'd end up where you started.
So would that not show that we're going in circles?
Yeah, it's just circles around poles, dude. That's all it is.
But if it's flat, you can't really
tell. Circles around poles.
You're going in a circle on a flat plane. You can do that.
What the hell? You can't have circles on flat planes.
Tell us you didn't run track without telling us.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. So you're saying Antarctica. Well, it does. What about the south? What is that one called?
It's the Arctic on the top. Okay.
Oh, Arctic. Okay, my bad. So Arctic's on top, and the other one's bottom. I don't know what the name is. They don't allow exploration for both of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Both these areas are ecologically protected.
On a flat plane.
Yeah, they banned Chilean sea bass fishing in the area. They keep coming up with all kinds of reasons.
Just please don't tell us to go north or south to see the Earth.
Okay, I see. I'm envisioning the map that you guys are talking about. Okay, I can't.
Are you?
You are? Can you draw it for me so I can get a better vision of it?
Well, okay, so let's say we're on a flat, like let's say we map it out, right?
Yep.
There's the south one. I don't know. My bad. There's Arctic and the other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a circle for Arctic, and it's like, let's say it's in the middle of this drawing. Then there's land past it, and then there's a circle all around all the land we've discovered, and there's more past it, is what you guys are saying.
No.
Who said that?
Yeah,
Jedi,
I
stop
said
telling
it.
people that stuff, Jedi.
I said it.
Yeah, no.
So then what is it then? What?
Okay. Where did you get the middle of your circle from?
Well, I don't know. I was just going off what you guys were saying.
Okay, so based on what we said, where was the middle of the circle?
The middle of the circle is undiscovered land.
Okay. I thought you were middle of.
You might cut out.
I thought you were saying the middle of the circle was north.
No, I'm saying, so there's that middle part, which is undiscovered, and then there's the north, and then there's all the land discovered, and then there's the south.
Is the middle the undiscovered bit between the north and the south?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
So past the north is allegedly undiscovered.
I think he's slowly starting to get it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, but between the two, north and the south, you said that was undiscovered. No, that's not what we're saying. If you're going, how's this to put it, away from north and south, then yeah, that's undiscovered.
Look what Jedi's country did. That's how they mapped it.
Wait, I can find an image. Hold up.
How do you like that? That's how
See,
Jedi, UK map. UK did that mapping. That's for blimps, airships. You know, they don't want to get lost.
It's a bloody good map.
I think they made that other flattened globe one to make sure people don't pay attention to this one, really, because this one wasn't.
Okay, I'm sending a link in chat. Let me know. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. It's not letting me send the link. It's not even link. Hold up.
Are you too new?
I think I'm too new, yeah.
Yeah, we can't change that. That's a server thing.
Oh, there we go. Okay, this is like a picture, right? And so you see how there's that middle bit? That's undiscovered. Then there's that outer ring, and that's the north.
What is that, bro?
This is the end in Minecraft.
Wow. No, that's not anything that any of us has ever thought about. Maybe somebody, but not that I ever talked to.
So wait, that inner ring, that's still undiscovered though, right? Because that's past north. I would
wait,
send
so
it better picture, but I just don't have pick perms. My bad.
Wait, so have we discovered the Arctic then?
Yeah, like what I'm trying to say is that Arctic is the first void, and then past the Arctic is that Endstone area, and that's allegedly undiscovered.
What's the Arctic?
Like a snow biome in Minecraft terms.
Okay, I'm going to give it away, but hopefully you'll circle.
You might cut out. Oh, my bad.
I'm cutting out, bro.
You might cut out.
Sorry. How do we define the Arctic Circle? What is it?
Everything we've explored, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's a circle 60 degrees north. It's a circle around geographic north.
Sure, I don't know.
Yeah, where the Arctic is, where all the frozen ice and all the polar bears live.
Oh, the snow biome? Yeah, okay.
Awesome stuff. What's the Antarctic Circle?
Is that one the south one?
That's the circumference.
Yeah. No.
So
that's 60 degrees south around the geographic South Pole.
Okay,
so we've got two circles. One's called the Arctic, one's called the Antarctic. One's 60 degrees around the geographic North Pole. The southern one's the Antarctic Circle, 60 degrees south, a circle around the geographic South Pole.
Okay.
You said you wanted to make maps.
How is it around the South Pole if the South Pole is outside the circle?
It's not.
But it is.
That's what we're trying to get through to you. According to the map.
Who's saying that?
Because, hold on. We're going to reify a map into existence because one singular map says so. What about Radwin's one that was posted?
I'm just trying to understand what that means. Because if it's a circle around something, then it would encompass it, but it doesn't.
Yo, wait, Carter, look in the chat.
Okay.
So you see the image, right? Basically, what I'm guessing they're saying is one of the outer rings is the South Pole, and then there's still more rings.
There's like more dimensions to it, damn.
Yeah, I guess so, bro.
You're not following very well, are you?
Well, that's just what I'm understanding from this. That's like, come on.
Okay. If I was to draw two circles next to each other, does one circle
might cut out?
If I was to draw two circles next to each other, does one circle encompass the other?
No.
Thank you. So
yeah, I don't know.
No, obviously, if you draw two circles next to each other, one doesn't encircle the other. One isn't inside the other one if they're both next to each other. So why have you got this GIF with lots of circles inside each other? It's not what I've been saying for the last 10 minutes.
No, you're taking it wrong. My bad. You're taking it wrong. So
okay, all I need to know is if you understand.
This is why I would need perms, because it'd be better to show you what I understand.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just like an example that works in my eyes, but I'd have to show you what I mean for you to understand, you know.
Got you.
Anyway. So everything I've gotten from this so far is that there could be an edge, but it's not been discovered.
Yeah.
Am I correct or no?
I mean, I haven't been there. I mean, you're asking me what Peru's like, and I've never been to Peru. You're asking me what the edge is like, and I've never been there. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
how about the edge of the universe? Can you point to that? Do you have any maps for that?
Well, like that's completely different. How's
that different?
That's pretty different, man. Because
it would be like me saying if you can't point to the map of where the edge of the universe is, then you don't abandon that idea.
So no point in bringing it up.
No, it is the same.
I can understand wanting to avoid trying to pinpoint something that's ever expanding, right?
Well, I mean, like you don't believe in it.
Not to mention, what's it expanding into?
You just don't believe in it. I'm not going to argue that.
Right, but you don't have an answer for that, do you? For that question?
I'm not going to argue with it because there's no point. You just don't understand. You don't believe
in the question. Do you have an answer to the question? That's the point.
Which is,
what's the edge of the universe look like?
Shit, if I know.
Right.
Okay. Does that invalidate your hopes and dreams of you living within a universe?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I'm not even gonna like really.
Koji.
I'm not gonna really wonder over the universe if flat Earth claims that it's not real.
Well, would it be reasonable for someone to say to you, if you can't show me the edge of your universe, then your universe doesn't exist? It's not true.
I can't show it. That's not my job.
Right, it wouldn't be reasonable, would it?
To show the edge of the universe? Well, yeah, if it's ever expanding, then yes, it would be pretty. It'd be pretty unreasonable. Yeah.
I mean, hell, even if I was standing on like 3 acres and I said, "This is my 3 acres," and you go, "Where's the edge?" Well, I was like, "Well, I'm not sure. It's like in between that creek and that. See that tree out there? I'm not sure where exactly the line is," and it kind of goes whopper-jawed over to that direction. You know, it doesn't invalidate what you're standing on.
No, I know, but all I was confused on was because, like, okay, so there's the
welcome
map.
to Flat Earth. Who knows about the edge? Mysteries abound.
I was okay. Let me try to make it so you understand what my question is. It's if there is an edge, right? Where is it?
Well, I understand it totally. That's when I packaged it up for you. You rejected it.
Well, no, because I was talking to what's his name? Who was I talking to earlier?
Some Australian.
No, I think you're talking to Jedi.
Jedi is my companion. Yeah. Love him, by the way. What's it called? I kind of understand how you guys map this flat Earth, so I guess it would kind of make sense. I don't know.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Amazing.
What's happening, World Congress?
Nothing much. I just got done eating the fuck out of some enchiladas. Now I'm back up here, drinking my life away. Well, hold on, this is really dead. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Have a go.
Welcome to 24/7
Yes,
Flat
please
Earth
leave.
Discord.
Flat Earth Discord.
Koji, your obsession with the edge.
Yeah.
It tells me that you can't envision Earth being anything else other than something suspended in something else.
No, I just struggle with envisioning it being flat.
Yeah, that's because you want a replacement because you've been led to believe that everything can be explained, and that's just not actually the case. That's not the way the world presents itself. That's why originally humanity developed this systematic method called the scientific method for explaining cause and effect relationships in the natural world. When we were still in that mode as a society, no one thought they could explain every single thing. That would be just far too arrogant. It would be thinking that a person could be omnipotent or omniscient, which a person cannot. So you've been led to believe a falsehood that it is possible for any one person or group of persons. I don't even think that you think yourself you could do that, but you think someone else has figured out all these things. But the truth is that the emperor has no clothes. The great Wizard of Oz is just an old man behind a curtain with some lights and smoke and mirrors giving you a fantasy idea.
No.
Hello?
No.
Koji.
Okay, well, so I kind of, from just what I've been hearing, I kind of understand this so-called map, okay? But it's still...
What? You kind of understand this so-called map. What are you even talking about?
Okay, it's so hard to explain because I can't send pictures. I'm so
Okay, so you were just ignoring what I said and looking at something else. That's why you were having your little freak out there, or what?
No, I was answering you because you were saying that the Wizard of Oz is an old man, and I was...
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure we were doing a bit there. I thought we were. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Exactly
okay,
what I
good. Yeah, you did well then. Yeah, good job.
But I was just thinking, because I can't send this picture. I'm very sorry, guys. I'm very sorry. I want to understand.
Well, you can send it to one of the flat earthers that doesn't have stalkers. They have their DMs open, but they'll have to say who they are.
Rodwin, I have stalkers and I have my DM open. What does that say about me? I should probably close this. That you're telling me, Rodwin.
Usually I don't. You're braver than I am. How's that?
Good. Don't tell Koji.
Usually I don't see their messages until like 4 or 5 days later because it's in that little section of like requested, and then by that time, like the moment has passed. So,
how do I get it so I can send images in here?
That's more.
Be smart.
Yeah, it's like a time thing, right? In the server, it's like you have to be here for a certain time, and
after 3 days, you start you're able to do things.
That's so long.
Well, you have to pop in and sit in here an hour, and the next day type in some shit once in a while.
What do you got? You guys worried about him sending you a DM with a picture on it? Is that what you guys worried about?
No, I'm not worried at all. He can send it to me if he wants.
Oh yeah, I could DM it to you guys. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's my bad.
Yeah, hold on, paraplegic. You don't have stalkers. I had to turn off my shit.
I don't have stalkers. No, absolutely not. Everybody loves me because of my coffee. And the ballers, they want my coffee so bad they're nice to me.
All right, we're not doing commercials yet.
I'm joking, man. But I mean, if you want to send me a picture, I'll post it. Whatever. I'll
send it to paraplegic.
Yeah. I'll got you guys.
Guess what? He's a paraplegic.
His copy is so good, the globals will even deny the moon.
His copy is so good, it knocked his legs right off.
Oh, this is gonna be hard to do. Shit. Okay.
Thanks, old house. Now I have that commercial in my head.
Wait, what's your name? I'll friend request you. What's his name?
Koji.
Koji.
Okay. Because my phone's kind of bugged, it's hard to make images. Okay, it's done. Okay, I'll send it to who wants it to be sent?
I gotta friend you to do this, right? Or can you just send me something? Hey.
Wait, who's talking? So I know.
Paraplegic, freaking bear with coffee with bear. Jim.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, there you are. I got you.
Message. My phone's very shit. Sorry.
A stupid little guy with a leaf on his head. What the hell is that? It's
Okay.
kind of like a bear, but he's got a freaking for a what the hell?
Okay, let me explain this. Okay, so you
Dude. Shit.
equals undiscovered. Wait.
Can I send it to? Can I post it?
Yeah, just wait. Just so people understand. Let me make this.
No, post it and
I'm gonna keep it to myself, guys. This is great.
then describe it.
Okay.
Let's see
You can
it.
send this. Here. You can send
No,
right this one
because he's going to describe it and then he's going to reveal it.
There, send that.
It's literally just concentric. It's just like a hockey puck in the middle with concentric rings going around. But I'll send it.
It explains it kind of. I'm not on phone. It's hard to do. I'm sorry, guys.
What am I sharing this to? Politics? Me?
No, chat to the 24/7 flat Earth. There.
Does that come up?
Okay, everyone, look at this. Let me explain it, please. As you can see, I drew lines pointing to what I want to name. That ring in the middle, I made it. It's called U, meaning it's undiscovered. The N, there's a ring right past U, and that's the North Pole. And then there's a ring labeled as S, and then past it, there's a ring labeled as U. Is that what you guys are referring to when it comes to the map? Meaning we haven't found the edge?
No.
What?
Oh.
Oh, all right, dude. Look, we're not giving you an edge because we haven't been there. We haven't been there to put.
No, I know. That's why I wrote undiscovered. That's why I wrote undiscovered.
We don't know, dude. First of all, why do you think it's a perfect circle? I mean, we don't know what shape it is. It wouldn't even be a shape. It'd just be like we don't even know. We haven't been there, so we're not gonna make up some shit.
Okay, but it still doesn't. Even if it's like a square, my analogy still like works.
Why is it undiscovered in the middle?
Because someone was saying past the north, like we haven't really seen past the North Pole. I don't know.
Yeah, that's when I thought you understood what I was saying. Pole on this.
Wait, so this map was wrong?
Where's the South Pole on this? Is that a circle around the outside encompassing all the other circles?
Yo, your picture got me confused, gang. Carter, what is this?
What's he doing? DMing you stuff?
No, he sent a picture in the chat and it doesn't make sense.
Fair. Well, it didn't refresh for him.
I didn't do anything. You're not talking about me.
Yeah, look at the picture, bro. Come on, man.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It's confusing.
What's the North Pole, South Pole, and outer space got in common? Come on.
But wait, what is my map wrong about? Like my, I guess, rough map. What am I wrong on?
Well, you've got lots of circles that are encompassed. You've got
No. Just think of those circles as land. Don't get too confused by it. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why I brought up the Arctic and Antarctic circle. If the North is a geographical position surrounded by circle latitude, the Antarctic circle being the 60th circle of latitude.
I gotta make it like. Come on, man.
South or north, everything inside that. It is. I'm trying to. That's why I told you about two circles next to each other.
Yes. Can I just explain it to you because you're confused on it. All the circles.
It's hypnotizing me every time I look at it.
South and north. Just think of that as the map we have today.
No, look, I'll clear this whole thing up in like 1 minute.
Yeah, your handwriting is better, but not bad. Bro, I don't know what this map is, man. I'm trying to figure out the flat Earth map, but it's just I don't know, man. You guys are saying it's wrong.
I think we've said to you several times. I mean, there's maps of local areas, but we're not claiming to have a map of all of the territory. Why are you obsessed with having one?
Well, because it just explains why we haven't discovered an edge.
You'll run out of fuel and die. That's why.
Nobody's been there. You can't go there.
I know. That's why I'm using this
map.
map.
There, we haven't been there, so there's no reason to say this is this. Yeah, so the same reason nobody's freaking been to the sun to verify what the hell the sun is. We're not going to make up some shit about the sun.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we get UV rays and we can just deduct.
All right, whatever, but you don't know where it's at. You can point to it in the sky. But you can't say it's this many miles away. The same way you can't say the edge is there wasn't whatever. You know.
I know that's why I'm saying it's undiscovered, meaning like we've never been there.
Still, all right. So you know what? We can't say
the sun is undiscovered. The stars are undiscovered.
Yeah, I see the sun. You can't say it's undiscovered. Come on, lock it.
Where the container is undiscovered too. But there's
a container, dude. You have to have space. Space is fake. You don't need a container.
Yeah. Carter did it good. Shout out Carter. Carter did it really good. Yo, what? Carter's my dog.
What?
He put the picture of the map that I was trying to do.
Carter, change your name to Rover.
Anyway, yeah, that's really silly and stupid. And your mom's in the middle.
That's what they believe.
You believe your mom's in the middle?
That's what they believe, really?
Yeah, that's what they think.
That's a very silly map, chat. Y'all gotta lock in.
Who thinks that?
Is this map wrong? And if so, how? I want to know.
Carter does not speak for us. Carter does not speak for us.
Well, I'm asking you.
He doesn't speak at all anymore. In fact, I don't like him having a live stream up, so we'll just boot him out of here.
Hey, that's done. Come on. Okay, but is there anything wrong with Carter's map? I actually want to know.
What is it, a map?
Yes.
Okay, what is it? What's wrong about it? What's wrong about it?
The South Pole being the circumference.
Well, we've explored all of East and West, so North and South.
Which are circles around poles, plural.
No wonder we're still having this conversation. We've sailed east and west, which I told you earlier, are circles around poles, plural.
So where can you give me a demonstration of the map that we have of this full flat plane?
No.
Why not?
I think you reset.
Because I'm not a cartographer.
Ah, I'm not either, man.
We'll study photography and go do it.
So much work. You guys can do it for me.
I know, but you
guys know everything. Come on.
Just lazy. You just want to sit on a phone all day.
Yeah, I actually do. I love doing that.
No, that was the purpose of creating those and making them so cheap for everybody to keep you entertained. So you don't
shout out to them for real. They know what I like.
That's right. They know how to give you the circus for free.
Yeah, they know how to bust my pickle, basically. Hey, Dandelion. What can I ask? What is wrong with the map presented by Carter?
I think a couple of people have already told you that. I think Jenny just
I
told
didn't
you.
understand.
You did not understand what he said.
Don't hit me. I'm sorry.
What does a pole look like?
A pole is like a man. I don't even like a pole. Like it looks like a cylinder.
Okay, so that circle. How is that? So you don't know your shapes or what?
What do you mean?
How is a circle a pole?
Oh my, okay.
Who am I talking to?
This is from a bird's eye view.
I mean, like, I'm just like a basic.
How is a circle a pole?
No, we're not claiming that. Okay. Wow. I'm not claiming that the pole is a circle. I'm claiming that this pole is the outer bit.
Okay. On Carter's picture.
Huh?
Yeah.
You might
on Carter's picture.
Hello.
On Carter.
Might cut out again.
I don't know. I guess it's fine.
Picture, the one that you love. The big
your mic keeps cutting out.
Circle has got an arrow pointing
to be charged.
Hashtag cutout.
In it saying
Hashtag saying Jedi, charge your headphones.
Yeah, I think you should become an explorer, Koji. Have you ever sailed on a boat?
No, I've never sailed.
Yeah, well, you could take sailing lessons, learn how to sail, buy yourself a boat.
Yeah, okay, you could swim.
Anyways, I just want to get to my second question then.
All right, go for it.
So, let me just type it out because it's very hard to word it out for me.
This is going to be one heck of a question.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a second question, but he's got to really think about it first. But he definitely has a question. He just doesn't know how to formulate the...
Yep. You're so correct.
I reckon it's going to be... So, where's the edge then?
I was going to say
something around those lines.
It's going to be something like, since we didn't discover everything and they discovered 7,000 islands and we don't know if there's an edge or where it is, where is it?
There. Okay, wait. Yeah. Let me word out my question.
You guys were totally right. You were right.
Yeah. No, okay. Let me word it out. Okay. Since
oh my god, I'm like a mind reader.
Since the edge has not been discovered, right? There has to be a point where the edge is. Am I wrong to say that?
Yeah, if there's an edge, there's a place where the edge is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I assume there's an edge.
Well,
you can assume the container. Do that. And you can say that's somewhere. That's definitely somewhere.
Okay, anyways. The edge has to be at a certain point. Am I wrong to say that?
That's
yeah, if it exists somewhere. Yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
You got
so my question is...
He's brought you guys somebody your voice.
No, my question is, if it isn't north or south, and it can't be east or west, where is this location?
Don't know. It's really hard to define using this coordinate system.
Yeah, don't use a compass and just go, dude.
Because if we keep trying to tell you, if you go north, you're going to end up at the North Pole, which isn't an edge. And if you're going to go south, you're going to end up at a pole, which isn't an edge.
Yeah, I know. That's
East and west hold on, I'm finished. East and west are circles around either pole, depending which one you're referencing.
Okay.
Okay. So if I'm to say to go to north and that's a pole, that would be stupid of me to say go north to the edge because that's a pole. Same for the south. Go to the south. No, that's a pole surrounded by whatever it's surrounded by. And east and west are circles around those poles. So I couldn't use that coordinate system to tell you where the supposed edge of the Earth is if it existed.
But there still might not be an edge at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is in this hypothetical situation that it exists.
I don't understand the answer. I'm very sorry.
Okay. What is north and how do I know when I've got there?
When you've hit the North Pole.
What's that?
The snowy biome.
There's lots of snow everywhere. What? How do I know when I've got to the North Pole? Serious question.
I'm going to assume they probably put an American flag there. I don't know.
How do we define the North Pole?
The most north point on the map. I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. So north, celestial north, geographic north, point on the Earth underneath the rotation in the sky. So we get north from the rotation in the sky. So I know what north is by the rotation in the sky, and I know when I've got there when the rotation in the sky is directly above my head. Same with the south. Okay. Geographic south is a geographic location underneath the celestial southern pole, which is an area of rotation in the sky. So you can literally put two poles on the floor. One you can call north, one you can call south. East and west are circles around those poles, depending on which one you reference.